Hi guys, hopefully your day is going good today. I'm here so that I can reiterate directions for you if you're still a little bit confused on what's expected of you. Also, I'm going to do a quick stratigraphic map on here, just a rough sketch to give you an idea of what you really are looking at having completed today. So remember that at the end of the hour, you need to have your rough draft that you did yesterday completed. You need to finish your final draft and you need to put some color on there. And then last but not least, you need to switch that final draft with another student so that they can solve your stratigraphic map and you can solve theirs. Then you need to staple your two sheets together, so the rough draft and the final draft that you made with your partner's answers on there, and that needs to get turned into the sub today. So I'm putting this in as a summative, and if you don't turn it into the sub today, I'm not going to take it. So use your time wisely. If you have questions, ask those around you, right? Look back up at the front board. I have a bunch of directions up there, or see if you can find it in this video. So to start again, remember you need at least 8 rock layers. 4 of them you need to indicate what type of rock it is. So here in your sheets you have limestone, shale, sandstone, granite, basalt, quartzite, slate. Doesn't matter the order you choose, doesn't matter where you put them, you just need to have 4. If you want to use a rock that's other than these, please feel free to do that. Okay. Next you need to have a fault, an unconformity. To clarify that for you, in the back of the note sheet that we took earlier this week, right, unconformity includes those 3 different things. So a nonconformity, an angular conformity, and a disconformity. Any of those 3 are an unconformity, so you only have to have one of those. You need to have an intrusion. Again, if you choose to do an extrusion so the magma reaches the surface, totally fine. You need to label 12 spots randomly with letters. Remember, you're not doing that alphabetically. You need an answer key. I'll go over that when I draw my stratigraphic map for you. Make sure your boundaries are dark and defined. Make sure that the layers in your map match the key that you create. Remember, that key only has to have 4 different rock types in it, or 4 different rock names. All right? If you want to include folding or tilting, please do. If you want to include fragments, please do. And if you want to include more than 12 steps, which I know a lot of you have, by all means, the more the merrier. Okay? So taking a look here, your rough draft you would have completed yesterday in class. You created your answer key. If you're done with this, you're good to go and you can move on to your final draft. Final draft. Okay? What this is going to look like for you is you're going to have a number of things. So yours is going to be different than this, but I'm going to put a flat layer and a flat layer. And then maybe I have one that's eroded. Okay, I'm also going to include from the side here kind of a magma plume. All right, I'll stick another flat layer here. I'll stick. So this is going to ultimately end up being my fault, right? And then maybe I have a flat layer on top, an eroded layer. Maybe in here I have some inclusions and maybe a flat layer on top. Okay, so again, I might have more than 12. If I don't have as many as I need, I can always add more. So now you're going to label them randomly. So I'll start with A, L, M. This jagged line right here, right, your disconformity that you have, this is going to be something else. So maybe that line is S. This could be T, W. Now this is a fault, so remember these are going to be a little bit different here. They match up kind of diagonally. Maybe this one is R and R. This one is, what have I not used? A B and a B. These little inclusions can be E. We'll put I, K, and Z. So let's count my letters. Oh, and I have this jagged line right here too. This needs a letter. Let's give that an X. So let's count my letters, make sure I have at least 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm in pretty good shape. Over here in this key section, that's where you're going to put your boxes with the name. So if I decided that A was going to be spotted and I was going to call it basalt, again, you can choose whatever rock you want. I would have a key and call that basalt. Okay, you're going to do 4 different ones. I'm only going to do one for you as an example here because I'm going to list mine in order. So now we're going to have to list them in order. If you look as we scroll down here, okay, number 1 needs to be your oldest layer and number 12 needs to be your youngest layer. Okay, I'm not going to write mine on these lines right now for the sole fact that I'm going to keep them on the screen where you can see this. Keep in mind this bottom part on your front sheet, right, this guess section, this is whoever is solving it, whoever you switch with, they're going to guess it. You are going to write your key right on this second page here. Answers 1 through 12 there. So this is your answer key, right? That's something they can check at the end, because if you notice at the top, once your partner solves it, you have this number correct up in the right hand corner. Okay? So going back to our map here, I'm going to put them in order for you. Okay, so the oldest layer is A. As we move up from A, it's L, and then M. After M is deposited, it has to erode, so that gives you S. Now T forms on top of that. Next I have these layers right here, the R's and the B's form. So R forms, B forms, then a fault. Well, I didn't label my fault, and I should have. So going back to that, let's make that letter U. Okay. After my 2 layers form, they fault. Again, you can't fault a layer if it didn't form, right? After U, when we take a look at this layer right here, E forms before I, right? It's easier for I to form around all of these little E rocks rather than the whole layer of I forms and then the E rocks somehow get inside, right? So our next letter would be E, followed by I. Now pay attention to this W, so this intrusion or inclusion that we have here, the magma plume, right? This had to form after all the layers because the layers were already there and they continue. This intrudes or includes its way in. So after I is W. Right? We put it after I, right, because it touches that I layer. So after all that, our next letter is going to be K, followed by the erosion of that, which is X, and very last after that we have Z. Okay, once you've listed these, right, again, you're starting with the oldest to the youngest, 1 through 12. In my case, I probably have 14 here now. Then I need to, after each one, say why I know this is the oldest to the youngest order, right? What are the rules or the laws that we learned? So for A, L, and M, right, that'd be my superposition, okay? S, right, that's my disconformity. Okay, and so I'm not going to go all the way through and do this, but use your note sheet to make sure that you know what it is you're working with and why they are the way they are. Okay, again, everything comes in at the end of the hour today. Without it, I'm not going to accept it. So use your time wisely. Make sure you get done what you need to get done. Ask for help from others. You need to have a little bit of color on this final draft map and make sure that your borders are clear, things are outlined nicely, and that somebody solves it. Okay, have a good day, guys. Be kind to your sub.